These are the tales and ramblings of two men, their dream of running a successful food truck business and life. We invite you along to join Josh and Skippy on this journey. This is Monday Morning Food Truck.
Sorry, we were a little bit late this morning, everybody. Good morning, Skippy.
Good morning.
Much like the much heralded 9:22 shots, it's 9:22-ish or 10-ish. So we're here.
Yeah. Yep, we're definitely here is a good word. We're definitely here.
All the audio is working. I was told by somebody that our last week episode's audio was the best that it has been since we've gone to the live format. So I'm not touching a thing.
Nope.
Leaving it all as is.
Your family members will come in and touch things, and then it'll all get messed up again.
No, that would never happen. Never ever.
Oh, hold on a second.
Oh my gosh. Well, that was a weird coincidence. You said hold on a second and something opened on my computer. I thought you picked up a new hobby over the weekend.
That was me opening a can. That was kind of interesting, huh?
Speaking of opening cans, did you open a can of whoop ass this last weekend?
No, I did not. Yeah, we'll go with my week first, I guess.
Okay.
Yeah, so it was definitely a week. We didn't. It was a week full of. I will never do another 420 day without a guarantee. I can tell you that. Ever.
So before you go on to that, there was a couple posts on various food truck pages, I think on 419, 418, somewhere in that vicinity, about people saying the exact same thing, that they will never do, that they're hit and miss, and more often they're misses than hits, and people are showing up with a set amount of money to buy a certain number of things, and that's the money they have. So,
and you're not one of them.
Yeah, typically, the food's not, the munchies aren't coming until after they leave.
So I was set up at a what we would call maybe a higher end dispensary. So I found out some things about dispensaries yesterday, actually, at the little food truck rally I had, because I was talking to somebody who got prepaid for 300 meals in a dispensary that is literally in the middle of nowhere. So they classified themselves as the Walmart of dispensaries. They carry everyone's stuff. When you go to a higher end dispensary like the one I went to, they only carry their stuff and only push their stuff. So there's not a lot of variety there. So they're walking out with their bougie weed bags and taking a look at the fact that I probably don't have fries or burgers or chicken tenders or whatever, and just leaving. So it was like a $300 day for 6 hours, which irritated me. But otherwise, the day or the week was grand. Our Brooklyn spot keeps hitting. It's fantastic.
That's a lunch spot, a roadside lunch spot?
That's our roadside everything spot.
Yeah, you're there all day.
Yeah. But it's come May 3rd or such. Every Wednesday, the big boy across the street puts on a classic car show. So I will definitely make sure that I'm there every
You're
Wednesday.
on that rotation, yeah.
And I will push things that way. Yeah, so that hit. We did a subdivision, a brewery, and then we had our comp. My heart was not in it. I told my wife on like Thursday when I got home from the brewery that I'm like, I would just rather stay home or go make money somewhere or whatever. My heart's just not in it today. She's like, well, I want to go because my friends are there. Like, nobody's stopping you.
You got a car?
Yeah. So, of course, we went. Weather was shit. Just cold, nasty, rainy. I don't like sleeping in my trailer. It sucks. I don't want to spring for a hotel room considering I was losing money that weekend anyway. but otherwise, I mean, I thought I turned in pretty good food. We ended up with a fifth place in pork and using our own rub, which I'm very proud of. Um, but we got hammered on. Seems like I just actually just got our scores, our individual scores, just a minute ago, and a lot of eights, which eights okay. I don't feel bad about eights, but I want them to be nines.
Mm-hmm.
So we have a comp in 2 weeks, and we're going to our heart's going to be in that one, so we'll be good. And then we had a food truck rally yesterday, the first one at our Flavor Fruit Farm, which is they did a vendor market outdoors. It rained, it snowed, it sleeted, it was sunny, and we sold out in 2.5 hours, cooking 5 pork butts, 3 briskets, 3 full pans of mac and cheese, 10 pounds of coleslaw. I think we still have some coleslaw left, but it was literally everybody was coming up just for loaded mac and cheese, just for it. Mm-hmm. And speaking of loaded mac and cheese, I promised him I would call you out on something. You had a visit this past week from one of our listeners.
I did.
He came up and basically ordered a loaded mac and cheese. He did say you were a little busy, which is good. You guys talked for a little bit, and then you said, "Nice meeting you," and he left. Michael Gard.
Oh, well, we talked about that last week. It wasn't this week. It was the week before. Yeah, we talked about
it. He made it sound like you didn't know who he was.
Not a clue. No.
like he didn't know who one of our top fans is.
No, yeah, he said he came just for the loaded mac and cheese. Yeah. My brain and people and names and faces is it's something that I have worked on over the last few years. I can place faces a lot of the times. I don't know where they're from, but I'll recognize a face, especially a face I see frequently. Michael, we've competed against a number of times, but it's not somebody I see a lot. So, yeah, I know. And then take it out of context of a barbecue contest. Yeah, it just doesn't. It just doesn't register. So
we're just messing because he's like, oh, he didn't seem like he knew who I was.
Oh yeah, he sent me a message like an hour after he left.
He's like, "Are you going to really ridicule him on air?" I'm like, "Yes, I am."
I would be. Anyway, I'd be disappointed if you didn't.
Rally. The guy I was talking to again was paid 300 meals, and he said it was busy the whole 420 day, the whole day, and he makes pizza, so he was paid 300 pizzas.
Yeah.
And then at a different dispensary, a hot dog guy was set up there, and they were dead, and they're like, "Hey, can the hot dog guy come over here?" Absolutely. They paid him for 300 meals. This dispensary was just packed.
Yeah.
And mine definitely was not. I was parked between that and Fazoli's. And the Fazoli's lady came over and got food. I think, and her cook did too. So,
yeah, I don't know about 420, especially in Michigan, where there's just so many dispensaries.
Yeah,
small towns that have multiple dispensaries, and everybody tries to do an event on 420. So you have people that are spread out across a large number of dispensaries. I almost think like hitting a small town that's got a single dispensary is a better bet.
Oh yeah, if you're familiar with, this place was Quincy. If you've ever heard of Quincy at all, but it's a big farming community. Mm-hmm. I played against them in football. I mean, there's nothing there, but he said, they sell everybody's stuff. They don't just grow their own.
Right.
Well, I learned for next year.
Yep. That's all you can do, bud.
Anyway.
There is no failures. Only valuable experience.
Very valuable. I'm very valued. With
I have so much knowledge and experience. So many lessons.
I do think it's funny that when I sell out and I go over and ask because there was 3 trucks there, how the other truck was doing. They're like, "Oh, we did better," or we did better when you closed your window. Damn.
Weird.
Yeah, and they were vegan trucks. So
That's normal. And
Our friends over at Craveable, feel for them sometimes, but I'm glad we can do events together. Their food's awesome.
yeah, we got busier after you closed. So much of rallies, I think, are moving lines.
Yeah.
And a moving line is going to be a busier line.
Yeah.
And we just have the ability to be able to churn people through because
Absolutely.
we're not making things, we're not cooking to order. We're just assembling and throwing food out the window. So
we're a straight assembly line.
yeah, so it goes a lot faster and we can get more people through. So I think they, anyways, so yeah, I think that's pretty commonplace that other trucks get busier once the barbecue trucks close down. So,
Pondering great thoughts, are you?
just my Thursday this week.
Oh boy,
my TBD location.
Yeah, I love TBDs.
Yeah, I hate them.
No, I'm sorry. All right, let's talk about your week. What's going on in the Josh Hans West Side community?
Good God, I'm tired still from last week. We kicked off our really the start of our private event schedule for the year this week. Tuesday was meh. I mean, just meh. The last couple Tuesdays have been just lackluster. It seems like our lunches aren't as busy as they have been historically.
Really?
I mean, they're okay, but they just seem to be down. Like, our days have flip-flopped a little bit. So now we're pulling in more for dinners than we are for lunches. Our busiest hour of the day typically is still from 11 to 12, but after you hit 11:45, it just kind of drops to a slow, steady kind of day where people trickle in and out. But so yeah, it's kind of strange, and we're trying to figure out the new normal, if that's the new normal, if it's just people are at work and they don't want to leave their office in this crap weather. You know, their nice warm office and get in a cold car to go stand outside for 5 minutes. And so we'll see. We need next week is May. So
Next week is May.
Next week is May.
Are we basically just looking forward to May now?
I am. Yeah, I am very much looking forward to. We are at average temperatures this week for the most part, which isn't super warm, but at least it's 50s, and we hit 60 a couple days, but it's going to be wet towards the end of the week.
Yeah.
But anyways, last week, yeah, it was good. Our subdivision on Wednesday hit really well. Tuesday was kind of a short notice subdivision. It was a little light, but the Kent County Jail continues to be our second best jail on our schedule. Put that in for my wife who works there, who's mildly competitive. The Ottawa County Jail is by far the best jail that we have ever set up at. They have half the staff that Kent County does, and they do about twice the sales. So it's everybody comes out at that jail to get food.
The inmates love sweet racks.
They do. They're more a fan of the butts, I think. Oh, Andy.
Take which pun you want.
Yeah. But yeah, so Thursday, 4/20, we had a private lunch scheduled for Farmers Insurance. And then we had a 4/20 event scheduled for the evening. They had canceled because with some issues with new requests from the city as far as food trucks go. So we didn't reschedule anything or didn't put anything else on there. The private lunch. So I had two of these this week where we were given a head count. It was going to be us and a pizza truck. The expected head count was 150 to 200 people.
Oh, that was your State Farm thing? Or Farmers Insurance?
Farmers, yep. Mm-hmm. Yep. So this was the employee pay.
Mm-hmm.
They were expecting 150 to 200.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we talked about this.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. We didn't request a minimum, and usually I would for this. So if we do a private lunch, we'll do a minimum. typically.
Yeah.
There was some confusion when we were setting up, and it never happened. So we thought they were both employee or employer paid, and at which point 200 people wouldn't have been an issue for what our minimum would have been anyways. But with employee pay, you figure not everybody's coming out. So as the day loomed closer, that was for your hot place on 420.
Thanks, buddy.
No problem. It was a question of, well, how much food do we bring?
Okay.
So we had enough. We took our meat by the pounds off. We didn't do ribs. So just straight sandwiches and entrees. We brought enough portions for about 175.
Okay.
So, and it was heavy pork. So if we threw some stuff away, it wasn't going to be the end of the world, but we were prepared for them to be full and for us to get a majority of the people with a pizza truck being there.
Sure.
So we had tracked the number of people. So we have transactions, but that only gives you transaction. It doesn't give you people fed. So anytime we had somebody come and buy lunch for somebody else, we kind of made a tally mark so we'd have a decent head count.
Okay.
So we ended up serving roughly 130 people.
Okay.
The pizza truck did 60.
Okay.
So about 190. So they were pretty right on.
Yeah,
with
with
their
how many?
projection. Yeah,
Yeah.
which is awesome.
Yeah. Yeah. So it was a good day.
Yeah, we still had a pan and a half of pork left. It's amazing how much further stuff goes when you're not doing meat by the pound.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, it was a good day. We did 1,900, I think.
Awesome.
Yeah. And then we move on to Friday, which we were just doing lunch at Wiseman Distillery, which was dead. Like dead. Like weirdly, oddly, no one around. Like not even our regulars. It was strange. Which turned out to be an okay thing by the time we got to our dinner. So I had posted the question about the elementary school family fun night. Their expected number when they reached out to us was 400 to 450. Us and a donut truck there. And a fundraiser for the elementary school.
Of course.
They didn't want anything from us, though. They didn't want a percentage. They just wanted to offer. So they sold tickets at the gate kind of thing. And they had bounce houses and stuff like that. So that's how they made their money. Again, we didn't require a minimum. This is where my kids went to school. So kind of hit home for me doing it. I don't think I would have done it otherwise.
Weird. Okay.
Why?
Gotcha.
Why weird?
Well, I mean, how often, I guess, have you interacted with that school since your kids have left?
Frequently. We used to set up there regularly during the summer. They used to. We used their parking lot. It's the school system as a whole where I'm still involved with.
Yeah. Okay. Good.
So,
All right. Just so it's not weird. Never mind.
no, it's
No, not weird. No, I like my high school. I haven't been back since I graduated.
Oh.
So, like, if they called me and said, "Hey, we want you to come out to do a football game or something like that," I'd probably ask for a minimum. Like, I don't have a relationship.
my elementary school principal, who is still alive, come visits our truck and knows me by name and knew me when he walked up.
Hello there, Joshua.
Yep, Mr. Long, Jack Long. His son is actually now the principal of that same school.
Oh, good to know somebody.
Yeah. I mean,
I understand.
anyways, but like I said, if we weren't involved with the school, and we've had a lot of requests for these type of events lately, a lot. I'd say probably 6 or 7 elementary schools that have reached out to us looking for a similar type of event.
Yeah.
That we've turned down. Mostly because food truck rule, you never believe the head count they're giving you. Right?
Yeah.
They say
okay.
400, you're like, no. So you cut it, I mean, you do all your math. You cut it in half and then another truck, blah, blah, blah. You're figuring maybe 100 actual people eating. Right? Maybe.
No, I get it. Yeah.
So it was a 4:30 to 7. When we were discussing us going there, she had concerns about us running out of food because she has seen sold out posts from us before. she wanted to be able to guarantee that we were going to be able to serve everybody.
Okay.
I said, if you want me to guarantee that there is food for 450 people, then you're going to have to buy food and guarantee food for 450. Like, you're going to have to cover whatever's left then. You know? Because for me to cook enough pork and brisket for 450 people is a substantial amount of money with no guarantee that you're going to sell it. And you have 100 show up.
And they absolutely said no to that.
Well, after some further explaining, she kind of got it. She asked if we could add hot dogs on for the younger kids. And I agreed. I said, fine, sure. If that'll make you feel better, I can handle throwing away. I can handle throwing away 100 hot dogs.
How many hot dogs did you sell?
Hold on, let me check. I want to give you the right number.
So you had a good amount, is what you're telling me.
Yeah, I mean,
okay, that's all right. Because I was asked to do it one time, and I think I did because everybody just wanted a pulled pork sandwich instead of a hot dog. So I threw away a lot of hot dogs that day.
So did we. I have a half pan sitting in my fridge.
Yeah.
And I had 2 hot dogs for breakfast this morning.
Scrumptious.
I don't mind hot dogs. Hot dogs are delicious. And they're easy snacks on the go. You grab a handful of wiener and off you go with a snack. Let's see here.
Handful of wieners, huh?
Handful of wieners. That was my nickname in high school. Going back to school. That was the 21st, right?
Thus the principal knew you by name.
Mm-hmm. Let's see here. We did... I hate the online version. I like my phone version so much better. Let's see here. We did... so we sold 90 hot dogs.
Jeez.
So we did them 2 for $6.50. And just a regular, boring hot dog with a white bun, ketchup, mustard, and onion hills. We sold them so. And every one was edited order.
Oh, yeah.
No mustard, extra ketchup, only ketchup, plain. And then you had, so we sold them in pairs, right? So then we have, can I get one plain? Can I get one without mustard? Chris is like just typing all this in. Because, yeah. Anyways, I would do hot dogs again for a similar type of event. Or I would be okay, like if we went to some of our other fairs and stuff that we tend to sell out with time to spare, throwing a package of hot dogs in the fridge and then going to hot dogs after everything else is gone for that 8 to 9 o'clock crowd. Yeah, they went fine. I put them in the smoker for, I don't know, half an hour maybe in a pan just to warm them up. And super simple and easy to go. And
yeah, there's not much to it.
But yeah, we ended up doing, what was it? I just had it. I want to say $1,900 in that 2 hours.
That was a good day.
Yeah, it was not bad. I mean, we've had better.
Yeah, I can imagine. Yeah.
But, it was, between Thursday and Friday, I mean, those were our anchors of the week, and we kind of knew that was going to be the case, where those were going to be the big sales days and kind of hold down the rest of the week. So overall, it was a pretty good week. Saturday was another slow day at the brewery, the bar in Holland, but again, weather was fucking terrible.
Yeah.
They are finishing their patio renovations this week.
I mean, I hope so, bud, because that patio did not look like a patio.
Oh, it's awful. That's way better than it was before. Yeah, so gazebos and grass is all going in to this week. Or grass. Is all going in this week with the yard games and stuff. So that patio was never really used until this year. So it's something they started literally throwing together last year. And then they brought in a new marketing and salesperson. So they were really pushing it. And oddly enough, they said that June, July, and August are their slowest months of the year.
Really?
Yeah. So they're far away and far enough away from tourist stuff that they don't get a lot of tourist traffic during the summer.
Yeah.
So, and then the locals that live in the neighborhood are all traveling out of the city in the summer to get away from said tourists. So they're trying to change that trend, and hopefully they can. So I think it's a good, I mean, if that was just a dinner location for us, and it pretty much is because we don't get there until 3 on Saturdays and 4 o'clock on the weekends or weekdays, it's a decent dinner location. So, but to use a whole Saturday to go there is not great. So
that makes sense.
That was the last Saturday that we're there for a couple months, I think. Just because we're so busy with other events.
Yeah.
So we'll see how it goes on weekdays with them, and hopefully it'll be better. Much, much better.
Good.
So yeah, it was a good week. It was nice to have my weekend deposit hit and to have the bank account be at a level it hasn't been at in a few months.
Right.
So things are trending properly. But yeah, we have a couple more. We have another private lunch next week. Well, a corporate lunch that they want it to be deemed private. It's behind gates and stuff. So, but another 100-person employee pay type of thing.
Yeah, I mean it's private. I looked at it.
Yeah, it's private. But it should be a good turnout. We've been fielding phone calls from people that work there asking questions about the menu. So there's definitely interest and word getting around. We have a 600-person drop-off on Saturday. Pork, chicken, and beans and coleslaw. So,
a lot.
Plus, we're doing our regular service. So, yeah.
Pam must be back.
Yeah, she's back tomorrow.
Pam must be back.
She's not working Saturday though. She has a thing. So that'll be Chris and I. I'll be working the mountain bike time trials that we did last year. We're doing that again this year, so I'll be there by myself, and Chris will run all the food up to where it needs to go and drop it off. So, but yeah,
he deserves a raise now. So you know.
Why now?
I don't know. Just cause.
All right, whatever.
Arvon Brewing. Are you familiar with them?
Mm-hmm.
What? Have you tried to set up there before?
Not brewing.
Yeah.
Arvon.
Arvon. I only say that. So I was looking at, because you had mentioned Wiseman was dead. So I just typed in breweries and Grand Rapids area.
I knew the name. I just couldn't place
Sorry,
it.
Arvon Brewing.
Yeah, I got it.
They have food trucks outside.
Yeah, it was terrible. We went there 4 times last year. And
Did you really?
Awful.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, they're the reason we're missing an outlet on the service side of our trailer.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the path to get to where the food truck set up, they had a giant pallet sitting there one day when we showed up.
Oh.
So we had to go in between that and a bush, and the bush was pretty solid. 90% air my ass.
Understandable. Okay.
So
right.
no, but we never had a good day there. I mean, the bar was full most of the times we were there, but no one was coming out to get food. It was one of those weird things where everybody was there to drink and no one was there to eat. So, right. And they do food trucks all the time.
Yeah.
But as far as Wiseman goes, I mean, we continue to have conversations with them about the situation of things. We're only there twice in May.
Okay, so you are going back.
Yeah. So what?
I said, hopefully it gets better.
Yeah. We're there twice in May. We're there one full day in June, half a day, another day in June. In years past, we would hold off going to other things, other opportunities, to go to Wiseman in hopes that it would get better with us being more consistently there.
Yeah.
If people knew there was food there, then hopefully they just, they wouldn't eat before or after or whatever. So, we've had very open conversations with them, and we're all on the same page. They want us to be able to make money, and they understand that that may not be the best option. So, they continue to schedule food trucks, and hopefully that does turn at some point. But yeah, again, the weather hasn't been great, and it's been especially bad on weekends this year.
Yeah.
So, we have other spots that we can go. The concerning part about Wiseman is our lunches there, because that has really been what has really kept us there for as long as we've been there, is that we've always had really busy lunches there, and those have started to dwindle a little bit. So,
do you think it's the distillery by chance? Like things have changed inside the distillery?
No, because the people that have been coming to us for lunch have only been coming for us.
Oh.
Like those are, they're not people coming from inside typically. A handful, but the majority of people that come to us for lunch on Fridays are from outside. Like they're running to us for lunch and then going back to work.
Yeah.
So we have from our other catering and stuff. We have one business park that wanted to schedule some dates with us. There's opportunity at Farmers for additional dates. Unfortunately, most of those are on Wednesdays. But they're looking to do food trucks every Wednesday. So we have some opportunities. We could probably move some stuff around to try to maximize all of that. And we're trying to do that a little bit more this year. So
yeah. Well, keep it going.
We got to make money. So
money's good. Money's definitely on the good side for sure.
Yeah.
Yep. You had mentioned about getting the bank account back up to a stable site.
Well, we're not quite to stable yet.
There's money there.
I can buy 2 days worth of meat now instead of one.
It's always good. That's good. That's for sure good. Yeah, I'm looking forward to May. So last year we didn't open like fully or go full time until the middle of May, and we are we went hard last month. I thought we were going hard this month, and we've passed last month's sales so far this month. So that's serving less people. So that's good. Get better, higher ticket price. It goes so good seeing people that come back. People that come back, and I had one person just drive back just to say the food was great.
That's nice.
Can I get everybody to do that, please? Just boost my ego, please, a little bit.
So you mentioned that you're going to be you have passed March's sales, which is good. So we were down about $3,000 from 23 March to 22 March, and it looks like we're going to be down about that same amount for April. So year to year, we're starting in a little bit of a hole, unfortunately, but as the weather improves.
Yeah, the weather's been kind of off and on.
I hope.
Yeah.
We should have some really good weeks. Mentioning how I'm looking forward to May. Our Etna lunches start, which are 175 people off the truck with a $3,000 guarantee on those. And we have one a month or one a week, pretty much for the next 6 weeks.
Awesome.
Yeah, so looking at those, that's nice, and we have our normal stuff plus. Yeah, it should be good. I'm looking forward to getting back to consistently busy, hopefully. So we do have a couple weird weekend days coming up where we scheduled catering. That was like a half-day catering type of thing, like in the afternoon or whatever. So it kind of blocks us off for the whole day, but then we never were able to schedule the other half of the day. So it's like, well, shit. And the one catering job isn't enough for a whole day, you know, type of thing. Like, it was a decent size, but it's like, okay, we can do that in the evening. We'll throw something in the morning, and we'll get something else in the morning. And yeah, those never came. So we got we got a couple half-dayers that was like, oh, crap. So we'll figure something out. One of them is late enough in the evening, like 4 to 7, that we could go out on a Saturday and do a lunch at one of our normal roadside spots, possibly.
Try something.
Yeah. Try to get something out of it, but the other one's the other one's gonna be a little bit trickier. So maybe we'll do a quick, like a 1 hour. We're gonna be open for an hour at this spot. We'll do some pre-sales of some stuff, meat by the pounds and stuff. Just try to move some food, maybe. I don't know. Do you have any days like that?
Kind of. Kind of. I mean, there are. So next month really begins our heavy subdivision days, and I think for the first month or so, I will probably just do the subdivision part and not do lunches beforehand, just to kind of make sure that those all go. But I have a lot of them are just, you know, in the afternoons.
Yeah. Cool. Good story.
Bubba texted me.
Yeah. What does he want?
He asked if I had a no-show today. Or no-show today? Are we on?
It's going. Yeah. It's recording. We are live.
Man's going to listen to me. It's recording anyway, so whatever.
Yeah, Spreaker says it's live, and it's going, so he should be able to go to... Will you text him back?
I did.
Ask him how he's trying to listen.
Well, I said that we're on now. When he said no show today, I'm like, did somebody no show?
Yeah.
Didn't really go where it's coming from.
Maybe it's because we didn't do a Facebook post as a reminder that we're going to be live in an hour.
Oh.
Sorry, it was my day to post.
We know that Bubba, I've been horrible at it.
I know. I've been trying to pick up the slack.
I know. Y'all are getting lazy. Not even a promotion. Yep, there it is. Yes, Bubba.
Not lazy, Bubba, just busy.
It's definitely.
Some of us have to work more than 2 days a week, and can't spend the rest of our time just going out to other food trucks.
You know, if we could just retire like him, we'd all be good. He's got a sugar mom at home. He knows it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Back to what we were talking about. So I've got subdivisions like every single week, and they're all afternoon times, and they're all 45 minutes to an hour away from where I live or where I'd set up. So I've only really done one, I guess, good lunch location in Brooklyn, and most of them would kind of be away from that location. So I'll try to find something that would be like 11 to 2. But honestly, our lunches are, I don't really get people like noon to 1, noon to 2 maybe. Like, yeah. I almost wanted to tell people, hey, instead of setting up at 11, we'll set up at noon.
Yeah, I mean, if you're not getting people from 11 to 12, then yeah, give yourself the extra hour.
Yeah, I mean, here's what it is. I have found out that doing an event after a competition sucks ass. Bad. Like, horrible. My wife helped everybody, and so I walked my own boxes. For some stupid reason, I parked as far away as I could. And my legs, honestly, were just shot by the time I was done.
That's a lot of steps for a little fella.
Yeah. Yesterday, making sure that I had meat on last night the night before when I got home. And then we have to be there by 9:30, and it doesn't open till 11 because they want everybody set up and if you don't show up on time, they'll ban you from ever coming back. And it's like they normally have you there at 9, but luckily they moved it back a half hour. I was seriously just dragging ass like yesterday, but it still was a good event. So, in terms of revenue, what's a good week for you, sales wise? You ever thought about that?
Yeah.
Do you go by days? Do you go by weeks? Or do you go by months? Or
weeks.
Okay.
Months vary too much, month to month. So that's a hard number for me to look at. And we've talked about how Square reports invoice sales.
Yeah.
And I get why they do it, but I don't like it. So we've definitely had skewed months where we have people pay early. So one month looks super high, and the next month looks way lower than it should be. So I look at the months as kind of a guide, but keep in the back of my head that there may be some variations. Last year was probably our close. I think we only had one person pay in the wrong month. So when we do invoices now, we ask people to make their final payment as close to the date as they can. Seriously, people paying early is a great thing. I don't want to discourage people from paying early. I'd rather that than me sending them an email the day after an event saying, "Hey, still haven't seen your invoice payment."
I was at your wedding, and you guys really snuck out there pretty fast, eh?
Yeah. So yeah, it's like one of those things. Was everything okay, and that's why you haven't paid, or? So yeah, I tend to go by weeks. Last year, what's that?
What's that? So we'll say the beginning of the beginning of your season. So March, April. What's your? Do you have goals per week, or do you just have we had a good week?
So like last year with all our payroll and everything else, the business is doing well, and this is going based off bank account accounting, which will drive Pam nuts that she just heard me say that. But bank account balance is going up after all bills are paid. That would be, last year was probably about $10,000 a week. This year, with significantly reductions in pricing on things, we're about that same amount at about 8,000 to 9,000. And we're running a little bit leaner right now. I have yet to pay myself this year. So, and that's just us still trying to get caught up from a very long winter, and extra trailer payments that we weren't expecting to have to make. So those are almost done. I have to send another email to the leasing person because, yeah, this is.
Can we throw a party? Can you have like a trailer payoff party?
No.
No, because I can't afford it because I just paid the trailer off.
I know. Yeah, at $2,600 a month, 5 extra payments is what we were looking at. So, yeah, for those that aren't quick at math, that's $13,000 that we weren't planning on spending this spring.
Definitely makes it so I don't want to buy a new one.
It's great. No, you should absolutely. It's just the way we had to do it through the lease wasn't the best option. So we our $50,000 trailer cost us about $120,000. So, but we were able to do it, and it's paid for itself. So that is all that matters. The next trailer will not be done the same way. Anyway, so how did we get on that path? Oh yeah, so yeah. Yeah, so right now we're about 8 to 9. That's going to be, I think, going forward, going to be a pretty good amount to get us where we need to be. Things are finally starting to get caught up. We're getting caught up on everything. We have a little bit of stock in on our shelves again. More than a couple days worth of stuff at a time.
We getting close to ordering that pallet of charcoal yet?
Yeah, probably. Yeah, assuming everything goes well, then yeah, next week probably or the week after, just to make sure that we're not spending everything we have. I'm reading a new business book or listening to a new business book, and it's pretty fascinating. And it's going to be one that I'm going to have to listen to twice once just to listen to it, and then the second one to implement the things they're talking about. It's called Profit First. And the whole idea is you set aside.
Should always be profit first.
So the main principle is you're setting aside money out of your sales into a separate profit account. You're setting that aside first before you pay any of your bills.
Okay. Yeah.
Because as human nature dictates, or as you've probably known, you get a tax return and then all of a sudden your car breaks.
Yep.
Or you see a deal on a refrigerator. Your refrigerator is running great, but you have a little bit extra money, so you found something else to spend it on.
Yep.
You tend to spend the money you have. So this first couple of months, and this kind of all really hit close because the first couple of months we were running on fumes, So clearly we can run on less money, but how come we're still there's more money in there, you're still spending all the money. You're finding things to reinvest in and to upgrade in that you don't necessarily need.
Well,
because you have the money available, you're spending it.
So the other thing is when you're living lean during those winter months, and it's basically, lack of better words, but it's almost living paycheck to paycheck. Mm-hmm. You almost don't know how else to live. And if you have that mentality, there's always something else I can upgrade.
Yeah.
Yep. I have a great fridge that my friend Josh gave me because it was beeping all the time, and it's not beeping.
Yeah.
But I noticed, the buttons aren't there anymore. Maybe I should upgrade. I'm like, no, that's like $800. I don't need to spend.
Yeah, but you see it there in your account, and it's like, it's there. I mean,
yeah, it's there. Why not?
I'm just reinvesting it back in the business. So,
good trees I can cut down. Let's just take care of them now.
So yeah, I will give I just started listening to it yesterday, so I will give more information as we go on. But yeah, pretty much it's almost like Dave Ramsey business. So yeah. You're creating your 5 different accounts for different things, and everything goes into the one account, and then you split it out into the other 5, and then the 2. Yeah, it's pretty cool. But the first thing is a profit account that you don't touch often.
So would that be where your quote unquote paycheck goes into?
No, there's a owner distribution bucket that you would use. So yeah, it's pretty cool. And how he talks about how most businesses don't show or have an accounting profit, but there's still no money in the bank type of thing because of how depreciation and everything works. Everything it shows as a profit and it looks good on paper, but most businesses are one bad month from never being open again, and we saw that during the pandemic, businesses that had to close for 2 months never reopened. Yeah, there's no cash anywhere. Yep. Everything's reinvested into the business. So, yeah, it's pretty fascinating.
So when you hear I watch Shark Tank all the time just for shits and giggles, but I like to hear people's stories. And it's like, do they say I've reinvested everything back into the business? Is that now technically a bad thing? Because it's all anything that they've put into it. When they don't talk about what reinvestments they actually made, whether it was something they needed or something they wanted. It's got to be. It's definitely, if you're going to do it, it's going to be something that you need. That's going to show a return on that investment. Me buying a new trailer is not necessarily a return on my investment because I have a trailer that works just fine.
Yeah.
So, but I do want an awning.
But if there's something that can make you more efficient and be able to train more customers.
Yeah. No, my luck, it's just more of something that I can put more shit on my menu that's just going to cause me more problems in the long run. Getting a bigger cooler that's got more, more room in it to hold more stuff. I'm like, but that's more stuff I have to worry about cleaning, and it's like, I always go into that anyway.
Yeah.
I understand.
So,
I like that idea.
Yeah, so I will, as I go through it, I will, well, I'll probably keep talking about it. I'm probably going to be obsessed with it for the next couple of weeks, but yeah, I think it's a good way to learn how lean you can run your business, and none of it's geared towards food. So I'll probably be sending an email or two to, I don't know, the guy's given his email address to the author like 12 times so far in the first 4 chapters. I'm like,
Yeah.
if you have questions, email us.
Yeah, let us know.
Yeah, so because a lot of it's regular business stuff, not food, and food is way different, especially when you're talking about some of those buckets, and we have a lot more fluctuating costs than a lot of businesses, I think, as far as capex and stuff, or operating expenses, you know. So yeah, that's kind of where I'm.
What there was a something on one of our Facebook pages groups this morning. How far would you travel if they gave you money for gas?
Are you going based off of Brandon's
Yeah.
thing?
Yeah.
So Turtle Creek is in Traverse City.
Okay.
I think that's right.
Something like that.
I think that's where Turtle Creek is. So for me, that's about a 3-hour drive. In that particular event, you were talking about doing some sort of food truck rally competition thing.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Really, for me, I could care less about the gas. Really, it's for me to get up to Traverse City and back. It's probably $200. But for me I have to go the day before. You and I would have to go the day before.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's not we can just pull in and open up and do some prep work and go.
Yeah.
You know, I can't.
There are times I envy those people. Telling you what.
Exactly. I mean, it's stuff like this where it's like, yeah, there's like a whole process for us to cook briskets and stuff that we has. Like,
yeah,
we've rolled down the road with this food on the smoker.
Mm-hmm.
We do it all the time.
I'm done too. Mm-hmm.
But 3 hours is a long time. 3 hours is a long time for me to have fridges stocked with stuff in it.
Yep.
Losing temperature. I would need a bigger guarantee on the event than anything else. That's the part that would keep me. It was like, okay, if we even with a $200 gas stipend, a shit day at the festival, I'm still losing my ass.
Yeah,
big time.
It's still a shit day, no matter if they give you money for gas or not. Because at the end of the day, if you're spending $200 for fuel and you got into this event, that's no different than spending $200 to get into what is supposed to be a big event and it not being a big event.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, it's we went up to Sault Ste. Marie and vended there for a week just so we could do a competition. But again, we went up. We lost a day at the beginning of the week, so we lost a Sunday that we normally are open to drive up to be there by Monday. You know, so it's I don't know.
Yeah, sometimes you just don't know.
If I could find somewhere in that city to do roadside the night before, so we can drive up there in the morning, open up somewhere in the afternoon or evening, and then do the big event, and then maybe do like a lunch service the next day before we drove back.
Yep.
Then maybe, or if it's a 2-day, like a Saturday, Sunday, where we have Monday off.
Yeah. Already,
then yeah, if I can do like a Friday night somewhere in a town nearby or that town, then do the event and then come back. Yeah, then I consider it because I have a higher chance of at least recouping the investment. But you're looking at hotels, staff meals. Like,
yeah,
Chris and I did a festival down in Marcellus, and we got a hotel for the 2 nights that we were down there. You know, and I paid for meals and paid for his room, and I mean, all that stuff adds up into the cost of doing a festival like that, and that's why I really shy away from doing 2-day festivals any distance away from the house because it can get expensive quick. You know that, and do you trust the power of where you are at, or trust that someone's not going to fuck with your generator sitting outside your trailer? Or
whenever they tell me I got to leave, that'd be something I'd love to hear from fellow food truckers on the Facebook page is like, if they tell you got to leave your trailer, how comfortable do you feel of actually leaving your trailer there? Because I don't. I never feel comfortable by it. And it's just me, but I don't.
Sorry.
So we have. I just got a message that reminded me. So there used to be. I don't know if you've ever heard of this concept: pizza vending machines. And there was a couple in the Jackson area. They started out here, and there was like 3 of them in the city, and they all went bankrupt. So, but they're one of them was outside the place is called Martini Spa and Lounge.
Sounds cool.
Yeah, it's anyway. So they took this machine out, and they still have the 220 power supply. Now, whether that's actually a 50 amp cord or something like that, I don't know, but I'm not sure if it was wired in. But it actually has some outdoor seating. But it's like a spa and lounge on the corner of nothing. You could have good visible traffic, and they don't want anything to set up. They just want people to set up to bring more people there. But the parking lot might have 15 spots in it. What do you think about that?
I think 15 spots is more than enough.
No. I guess I don't know anything about them, like what they serve, like why so on Facebook it's classified as a nail salon.
Okay.
But
I mean, I'm not saying I would do it, but you mentioned the 15 parking spots. I think any parking lot for us to, I mean, assuming that's like 15 after we take up our 6.
Yeah.
You're talking about a roadside location where it's not a festival, so you're not going to have 50 people in line.
No.
15 is more than enough. Really. I mean,
Sure.
Figure you're going to have 5 or 6 at a time. Conservatively. I mean,
Like it's just not that big of a. Maybe they have 4,200 followers. Maybe I'll go there just for shits and giggles if I have a place to. It's definitely won't be for lunch though. It would definitely be for like a dinner. But it's like, it's a cocktail lounge with spa services. We offer mani-pedi, hair services, lashes, facials, and more.
so, yeah.
It doesn't seem like a place that barbecue would like be welcomed, I guess.
But what's the traffic like on the road, or what's the area businesses like?
It's main streets. It's right downtown.
Yeah.
So it's main
You're going to
street.
cater, as long as you're visible, you're going to cater more to everybody else versus, I think, their patronage.
True. Yeah, that might be true.
But, I mean, this is why people require fees to show up. And
Yeah.
hold on, I got Steve Coddington, Bubba.
Oh, hi, Bubba.
5 minutes ago, I didn't even see it pop up. I wish I would get a ding in my ear when I get the chat stuff.
I heard the ding.
He said, "Cook ahead and reheat?" ? And that was 5 minutes ago. What were we talking about 5 minutes ago?
Cook ahead and reheat. Me going probably from the comp to the food truck rally the next day.
Oh, maybe. Is that what you're talking about, Steve? Or was it my 600 person lunch? So I'm not sure if he picked up the live feed from where we're live or if it starts from the beginning. So it could be my 600 person.
And FYI, Bubba, I did.
FYI.
I did.
And we are doing that same thing to an extent for this Saturday because it's at a school. They're doing a huge fundraiser auction, and they're handling all the service, and they're using the school's kitchen to serve out of, so the cafeteria. So they have access to all their heating equipment. So she says it doesn't even need to be hot when it shows up, as long as it's all cooked. We're dropping off. We're dropping off 4 hours before their event even starts.
When you're parking for the night at your house, you're turning everything in your except for your fridges. Like you're turning your warmer off, right?
Yeah, no, we don't leave that running.
Gotcha.
I don't want to burn up heating elements any faster than they're already gonna go.
Yeah, true.
So yeah, there's been days where like our nacho cheese warmer, our little warmer thing, gets left on, or a bay in the steam table gets left on. And I know it as soon as I walk in the trailer because I can smell the hot metal.
Yes.
God damn it.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm just waiting for one of those to burn up.
Yeah.
Not like actually catch fire, but just for the heating element to get hot enough that it just
dies.
Shits on us. Yeah.
Yeah. Right in the middle of service.
Yeah. Yeah.
You got to figure out where you can get one real quick. I'll take the old one out, put the new one in. Yeah, I know.
Yeah, that whole thing where there's extra money in the account, so something we're going to find a spot to spend it. Knock on wood.
What did we have on our? Do we have anything on the Facebook page to talk about? I know you personally, not me, you, because you definitely took over this week, and I appreciate it.
Hey, no problem. They had asked a couple questions, but I'm surprised we didn't get anything because I kind of used your question from the week before as a jumping point for my question about your best day. What was the day that you knew you were doing the right thing? Like, this is what you were meant to be doing. Do you know that day?
Year, yep. Do I have to give you the exact date? Because I have to look up the exact date. But yeah, absolutely. So it was in August. No, I apologize. September. It wasn't really a best day. It was a best event. Because it was the first time we've ever done a multi-day event. We had to leave our trailer down there. Mm-hmm. We had to couldn't move it. I got to the point where on Sunday, the weather was supposed to be shit, and it was, that I only cooked ribs and chicken. Just because it was fast. And I cooked, I think, 10 racks of ribs and like a whole bunch of chicken legs. And still sold out. Every day we sold out. We did probably about $8,000 the whole weekend. And it was, so many people came back for seconds the next day. And it was just like an art mural kind of festival kind of thing. Mm-hmm. Downtown Jackson, they bring artists from all over the country to paint murals on building walls. So it was called Bright Walls is what the event was. And it was amazing. It was just absolute amazing. I had 2 different helpers a day, and it made me feel like, like this is it. And it was fun. It was good. And yeah, the only other day I had was the week after. It was a Saturday. It was at Meckley's, the place I did yesterday. And I packed a warmer full of food, and I brought 2 Cambros. And just to see how much we could go. And we did like $5,000 in one day. And still sold out by, the event was over by 4. I think we sold out by 3:30. And it was just the most food I could have ever packed in one location, and it still sold out. And there were still regulars that are coming back to buy stuff. So, yeah, those are probably two best things. Best event, best day.
Awesome. Glad to hear it, Skippy. Yeah. It's good to have those days early on, relatively speaking. Well,
oh, boy. Wow.
Well, I mean, it was the same for us. We've had a reaffirming days and moments throughout the 5 years that kind of just hit it back home. But yeah, probably that first one was, for us, the Silver Lake Apple and Barbecue Festival that first year in 19. Kind of the same. We didn't know what the hell we were doing, really. We had no idea at that time. That was our first event ever. We'd only done roadside, and for back then it was if we can do $600-700 in a day, it's awesome. The first time we opened our fucking window was just in our front yard. People showed up, which was the first of those days. Like, wow, people actually walked into my yard and bought food from some weird guy. But yeah, I mean, Silver Lake was when we had people waiting 45 minutes to order food and then willingly wait another 45 minutes to receive their order. And then when we ran out of mac and cheese, and that was back when, I mean, we had pre-made mac and cheese and froze it, and then we're throwing frozen pans of mac and cheese into the smoker. So we ran out of mac and cheese, and we had a circle of about 20 people that were waiting for mac and cheese, and they waited for 2 hours at the trailer in a little circle talking to each other for mac and cheese. That was a pretty big deal. Kind of makes you feel good. And then to see one of the other barbecue trucks.
Should have went back to that mac and cheese.
One of the other barbecue trucks with a $3 or a 3-pound boat with Kraft macaroni and cheese in it and some pork on top, and selling it for the same price. I can't imagine why we had a longer line. But yeah, I mean, having that, and then
you guys know, he's not talking about me.
I'm not talking about Skippy, and I'm not talking about my good friend Kyle, we had complaints from other food truck people that our portions were too big and that people weren't getting food from all the trucks because our portion size was too big.
Okay, it's all marketing.
We made 0 friends that weekend with other food trucks, and that was fine. That led me to believe that we were doing things different than other people were, and it was being well received. And it was fine with me. So we have other trucks that we've been friends with since then. None of them were at that festival, but that experience with other trucks at that festival made me shy away from doing other festivals just because I didn't want to deal with the drama. And the 20% we had to pay off the top, made it a less profitable weekend. But
I remember
20%'s a lot.
Coming up to you at the Saturday after awards, and I'm like, "What do you got left?" He's like, "We got potato salad."
Potato salad and pop. That's all we had. And they wanted us to stay open. Yeah. Can you stay open and sell pop? I guess.
Sure. I'm going to make a shit ton of money off of that.
Yeah. It's like.
Okay, so festival season is upon us.
Mm-hmm.
There's going to be festivals that are coming up that we're both doing, and newer food trucks might get into festivals. And festivals normally charge some money to get into. Some way or another, it's either percentage, dollar amount, whatever. And you and I have talked about percentages versus dollar amounts. Go back in the archives and listen. But one thing that I wanted to ask, because neither you or I have the ability to do it on the fly unless we make major changes, and that is, what do you think about people, food truckers, increasing their prices to cover what they're losing in fees? I'll let you think about it because I'll give you my opinion first.
Okay.
I understand that everybody's there to make money. At the end of the day, that's your whole point. There to make money. I also have we post everywhere that we're going. And if I have customers that are coming to me to get stuff or happen to be coming to that festival, see me, and they're like, "Oh, I know I can go over there and get this for this price." And they come over and it's $2 more. I have a feeling that I would lose customers because of it. They wouldn't understand why I did that. So my menu board's a set price, and it is what it is. Now, I will be honest with you and tell you that I have thought about decreasing portion sizes a smidge, but I have not done it yet. So I'll let you kind of go off of that and figure out maybe I haven't. And what I mean by decreasing portion sizes is not be so heavy-handed with certain items. If I use a bowl, instead of putting 5 scoops of mac and cheese in there, 4 will definitely be enough. But anyway. Please. You look like you're chomping at the bit.
No, for those that are not going to be watching this on our YouTube channel, I'm smiling like a proud daddy right now. Skippy and I have had this conversation on the show, I believe, at least a couple times. And Skippy has just recited pretty much verbatim my stance previously when he's brought it up. So I have two opinions. I will go with a differing opinion first. For those that don't do roadside, and they are strictly festival trucks, and there's a lot of them out there, and that's how they make their money. They work 3 days a week, and good for them, and I applaud you, and if that's what you want to do and you are making what you need, then good for you. For them to change prices depending on the festival they're at, it makes sense. They're not getting a lot of repeat customers from city to city. Let's go like an elephant ear truck that just goes from festival to festival, or a hot dog truck. You know, you do a festival in Detroit, maybe you bump up another 50 cents a dog type of thing, versus Newego where you drop it a quarter. You know, just based on
pricing. They're pricing for their demographic, or from their area, wherever they may be. If they go to a bougie city, it might be a little higher. If they go to a rural city, it might be a little lower.
And at that time, you can also cater your menu a little bit too.
Yeah.
So you can do a little bit of a bougier hot dog. You know, you dress it up a little bit more, where that doesn't necessarily play well in a non-bougie city. So yeah, I think it makes sense for a certain group of people.
Okay.
Now for us roadside guys, your stance is exactly my opinion. I would never risk one of my regular customers walking into an event that we're doing and seeing $3 higher or $2 higher on an item just because we're at an event.
Would they recognize the portion size?
I'm not worried about hurt feelings, Bubba.
What was his comment?
He says, yes, festivals demand higher prices. We are in business to make money. Stop worrying about hurt feelings. It's nothing to do with hurt feelings at all. For me, it's about return customers. And not only the customers, my regular customers that I have now that would show up, but making regular customers out of those that show up at the festival, for the festival, not for us. So, I don't want a one-time customer. I want a customer coming back once a month or once every couple of weeks.
I want somebody walking by the trailer or the menu board saying, dude, I've had that before and that's fucking awesome. Excuse me.
So yeah. And because of that, I mean, we are pretty picky about the festivals we do, to where I think the most we're paying this year is $150. And I think that's for a 2-day. That's for a 2-day event. So,
yeah.
Bubba says regulars come for the food, not the price. However, there is a graph you could use that would say that there is a threshold.
There's both. I mean, I do think that if somebody sees you, they're more apt to go to you than somebody else if they like your food. So what do you think about the other part of what I said, the portion size thing?
Yeah, we're definitely a little bit more tighter with our portion sizes at festivals or events that we are expecting larger amounts of people.
So would your loaded mac and cheese, which is normally an 8x8 or 9x9 container, would you think about doing a 9x6?
No, we still do a 9x9, but it's a half a scoop less or a scoop less. We're a little bit tighter, you know. On our typical roadside days, those loaded macs might be a little bit fuller.
Okay, I get it. That's kind of where I was going with it.
But we're not going to gain. You're not going to gain that much more out of, a half a scoop less.
No, yeah.
It's more for us. It's more being tighter with our portions on our proteins. Making sure that 4-ounce scoop isn't a heaping 4-ounce scoop, and that it's a level 4-ounce scoop. That's where we're going to get the most bang for the buck, I think. But again, so yeah, it's so on even a one-day festival, $150. I mean, you're talking, if we can serve 200 to 300 people, you're talking about 50 cents a person.
Yeah.
You know, I'm paying for a 50-cent lead on a person. It's not worth me bumping my prices $1 for.
Yeah.
So,
yep.
Just my opinion.
I'm with it.
We are very focused on value-driven food, very good food at a very good price, and I like consistency. I like somebody knowing what they're going to pay regardless of where they go to get it.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. No, it's good. I appreciate that.
Mm-hmm. That has been my opinion always, and it will likely stay that way. So, I mean, yeah. We've definitely had other events where we go smaller on portions. Some corporate events where they have full menu available to them, but it's a large number. Yeah, we'll go down to a 4-pound boat for our loaded mac and cheese, you know, where it still feels and looks like a good amount of food, but it's definitely less than what we would normally sell. But they're not paying for it, and it's a company paid event, so yeah. Then it's a pleasant surprise when they come to the truck and it's a giant 9x9. So and again, and those
all about value.
Yeah, and then on those bigger events like our the elementary school that we did Friday night, you know, we kind of changed messaging a little bit on those events. Yeah. Like, is your loaded mac big enough to share? Yes. Yes, it is. You know, so we're trying to serve as many people at an event like that versus going for the higher sales number. We're going for the higher customer count because that is an area that we are in frequently, and that's a good potential to customer base for us.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. That's good. What other thought-provoking questions do you have?
So, on the opposite side of my previous question.
Oh, what's your worst day?
What was your day that made you think, what the fuck am I doing? And have you been close to saying, I'm done yet?
No, I have not been close to saying I'm done.
Good job. You're in a year and you haven't had one.
I haven't had. No. I mean, I'm not gonna lie that there are days I'm like, shit, 3:00 is coming early, but doesn't make me want to give up anymore. Worst. Well, all the trailer repairs I had last year, the one that was probably the worst was breaking a leaf spring on the way to an event and then having to call and cancel the event that I really, really wanted to go to. And they were definitely okay with me doing it, but yeah, that part hurt. And that was just a trailer thing. It's not I've never been late to a catering, knock on wood. I've never been late to an event. But that hurt because I'm just sitting there on a Saturday afternoon when nothing is open and figuring out how I'm going to get this fixed for next week. How am I going to get back to my house? More of me just worrying about the equipment that failed me. Knock on wood, that's not going to happen again. But
it will happen again. You'll have something fail. But
no, I'm knocking on wood. When you knock on wood, nothing fails. Right?
Nothing lasts forever, and but that too shall pass, and you move on. And I'm curious how many people have sat on their floor of their trailers in anxiety-driven sob in a ball.
Here's the thing: you've told me about those times.
Oh yeah.
But I think I think that made you better.
Of course. I mean,
at the end of the day, your worst things will always make you better.
Those weren't my worst days.
That was just a normal Tuesday.
I had. We're pretty much close to the anniversary of me nearly burning down my trailer. It's been like a year and a week or something like that. Yeah, for those that don't know, I had some user error while lighting my smoker on a Monday. Left the firebox door open a little bit just so the charcoal would catch a little bit quicker. I left and did not close that door. We had a nice prevailing 10 to 15 mile an hour wind blowing, you guessed it, right in the direction of the open firebox door. The temperature probe failed at about 700 degrees. So there is no good way to cool down a smoker. But when it's that hot, you can't let it stay that hot. And when you open doors and let a lot of air into an area that is very, very hot with a lot of flammable surfaces in it from drippings and grease, and yes, we clean our smoker, but everything's still coated. Yeah, it was a pretty close to a fireball. And even though we have a hook on the porch for our fire extinguisher, we didn't keep it out there, especially when we weren't in service, because we were worried about forgetting it and it popping off while we're driving down the road, and then we got a whole other issue. So it was inside the door. After I opened the doors, they had twisted a little bit. The doors would not close back up for me to go get the fire extinguisher. So, yeah, there was enough smoke and fire that my neighbor came across and asked if he needed to call 911. So that took me out of service. I emptied out our chemical fire extinguisher into the smoker. Which, if you need to really clean a smoker, that's a great way. Get it nice and hot. Spray that chemical fire extinguisher in there. It is like new in there. Probably the cleanest it's been since the week after we got it.
Most people wouldn't do it that way.
Yeah, I wouldn't recommend that. But it works really well. So yeah, we lost 2 days of service. We weren't sure what kind of damage was sustained by the high temps and what got warped and what was going to be. We didn't know if we were going to be able to keep heat in it, if the seals were bad. And I'm not like Skippy. I don't have 6 smokers just laying around my house. So, yeah, that was a portion where
asshole
we weren't. Sure, I wasn't sure how we were going to move forward. And yeah, again, in the spring where money's a little bit tighter because you're still trying to build up the bank account from a long winter and stuff. So, being off for an extra day or two is a lot. So that was one. The other one, I think, same year. Yeah, same year. Later that year, when we lost our generator, our onboard generator, our nice big Onan commercial generator on the front of the trailer had finally had enough of running at 90% and died on us. And then pulling quotes on new onboard generators at $10,000 and looking at the bank account that was not $10,000.
They don't have rent-to-own models.
So yeah, I mean those were the 2 days where it was like, are we going to make it through this?
Yeah, that'd be.
How do we move forward? I mean, those other days, those sitting on the floor of your trailer, really questioning if you were doing the right thing. I had a lot of those early on. We went full time at the beginning of COVID. I emptied out my 401k, fairly penalty free, because you could then during COVID. I lived off savings for 2 years. Still was able to pay myself a little bit, which was nice, but yeah, you get into those weeks where either there's massive COVID outbreaks and they're telling nobody to go outside.
Yeah.
And you're trying to sell food, Yeah, back then, I mean, a good day for us was $600-700, like $700-800. Like, we had 1,000 and we were like ecstatic for a day.
which is quite funny because that's pretty much like that's my like 750 to 1,000 to me is a great day.
But again, that's for a half a day for you. That's all day for us.
I'm telling you, me sitting up in Brooklyn on the side of the road, if I can do 750 to $1,000, great day.
Yeah,
excellent day.
Well, good. I mean, we've talked about it before.
I understand what you're talking. I'm just
your expenses are a little bit different than mine, and
correct. I don't have your
staff. Yeah, the trailer and staff. Chris. Those are huge expenses. So
yeah,
I definitely know that I could be making more money if I didn't have the trailer payment, which is almost done, and then if I let Chris go.
Which we're not going to do.
No, Chris, you're not. Don't worry, you're not getting fired yet. But yeah, is it one of those things where I could do a little bit more of the morning stuff and hire a couple part-time minimum wage people to do some of the other stuff and save myself some money? Absolutely. But I trust Chris, and he is worth more than he's getting paid for what he does. And for me to be able to step away from the trailer for a day and he can handle it is worth it to me. So
absolutely.
He is my best shot at some work-life balance at some point in time in the future, as of right now. So
exactly. No, I love that you're not having any of those days now.
Well, they're not as bad.
They're more like, oh shit.
My fingers would tell a different story from me chewing on them. But yeah, the stress level is still there, and I'm looking forward to that not being the case at some point in time. So we'll get there.
Fun fact of the day.
Okay.
Did you know that? Oh, Jesus. That's definitely not the fun fact. My dog's just trying to save me from Amazon delivery, I think.
Mm.
David Arquette was once a WCW World Heavyweight Champion. Fun fact of the day.
Oh.
He's a wrestling champion.
Okay.
Even though we're almost done.
Well, and then he walks away. Skippy out.
That's just a fun fact of the day.
Oh, all right. I am sure all our wrestling listeners will be delighted with the fun fact of the day.
Yeah, exactly. Anyway, about time to shut this shit down.
Yeah, I guess.
My dog has a vet appointment today. I gotta go take her to.
Mine are going to boot camp soon. In another few weeks. They're going away to boot camp for a week.
Military school.
Yeah. They'll come back.
Because they're naughty.
They are naughty. All right, buddy. I hope you have a good week.
Yeah, I hope you do too. This will be fun. It's gonna be a good week today. It's a light week for me, but it's a good week for you.
Yeah, they're usually light weeks for you.
What?
Bubba. Why not go solo like Skippy and myself and pay yourself more?
Ha! Ha! Because he can't. It's for the birds, for him.
It is. I don't choose to work that hard. Bubba, you go 6 days a week, lunch and dinner, and then tell me how many days you're going solo. All right, everybody. We'll talk to you soon. Skippy, have a good week. Find us on all the socials. Post comments and questions for us to have things to talk about next week, because I'm starting to get bored with us.
Can't let Josh talk all the time.
Yeah, no kidding. Lord knows what I'll come up with. All right, guys. See you later.
See you guys.